What's going on, guys? My name is Josh Setledge. I am the BJJ strength coach. I'm here at Super Training Gym, the strongest gym in the West, waiting for my AM crew to show up here. Waiting for my AM crew to show up here. It's basically me and a few of my wrestling athletes and my jiu-jitsu athletes and training partners. We get together anywhere from 3 to 4 times a week to get some lifting in so that we can win more matches and get injured less. I'm starting off my warm-up. I'm the first one here. Everyone else is slacking a little bit. That's all right. I'm quite a few minutes early, but I'm warming up with the hip circle here. Going to give you guys some insight on what today's training session looks like. We're running a condensed conjugate training program right now. This is day 1, so I'm super excited because we get to kick off a brand new training cycle. We've been doing a couple different things since the beginning of the year. It's March 15th today. So for the first 2.5 months, we've been working a lot on hypertrophy, just trying to get jacked. Now it's time to run through a whole new strength cycle, so I'm pretty excited for that. The condensed conjugate program that we're running, all we're doing is we're just taking the typical 4 days of training in a traditional conjugate model, so a max effort lower body session, a max effort upper body session. And when I say max effort, for us, because we're not power lifters, we're jiu-jitsu and wrestling athletes, that doesn't always mean 1 rep max. It could be a 3 rep max, it could be a 5 rep max, it could be an AMRAP for a certain exercise, but max effort, maximum intensity, maximum intent for the lower body and the upper body are your first 2 days in a traditional conjugate model, followed by your dynamic effort work, which day 3 would be a dynamic effort lower session. Day 4 would be a dynamic effort upper body session. When I say dynamic, all I'm meaning is just super fast. You know, one day you lift really, really heavy for the lower body, another day you lift really, really fast for the lower body, and you repeat the same process for the upper body. That's a traditional conjugate training program in the most basic of terms. And what we're doing is we're taking this 4-day conjugate split and we're condensing it down into 3 days. So today we have max effort lower body on the schedule. We're going to be doing some Duffalo bar box squats. I'm a huge fan of Chris Duffin and Kabuki Strength and all the amazing products that they make over there. So we're going to be using a Duffalo bar, which is a version of a cambered bar. We're going to be using that bar, squatting to a parallel box, working up to a 5 rep max. After that, we're going to do some back down sets for a few sets of 6 reps. Then after that, we'll move into our dynamic effort work for the upper body, which is going to be bench press versus some chains. And that's what we got on the schedule for today. So I hope you guys enjoy watching the workout. I'll catch you guys afterwards. Peace.
Taking my warm-up set here, 195 on the bar. I didn't film any of the specific warm-up exercises we did before this, but the crew and I, we take a similar warm-up approach to mat winning. Basically, you pick 3 to 4 different exercises that are going to target some of the muscles that you're using in your main movement. So since we're doing box squats, it's going to be hamstrings, quads, adductors, abs, glutes, low back, all that good stuff. Hit anywhere from 3 sets of 15 to 25 reps. And then when we're doing our warm-up sets on the main movement, because we're working up to a 5 rep max, we basically just do sets of 5 all the way up to a max. We got Aiden Chang here, 235 on the bar for his top set. Aiden is a wrestling athlete. He's also a catcher in baseball. He is so tall, so he got them long legs. He got a long ways to go to reach the bottom of that squat. It's supposed to be a parallel box, but he's so tall it's actually a little bit below parallel for him. You'll see on that last rep he drove his knees forward a little bit, which kind of hindered his ability to recruit his hamstrings as he sat back on the box, so that made that last rep a little shaky. You'll see that he does a great job in improving that in his back down sets. We got Jake Stone here, 255 on the bar. Jake is actually pound for pound one of the better squatters in our group. He only weighs about 140 pounds and he's squatting with all the big heaviest guys on the team. So great job, Jake. We got Eric Duca here, a little bit of a newer member. to the AM crew. 255 on the bar. Eric is another wrestling athlete, someone I've had the pleasure of working with for probably the past 4 or 5 years. For Eric, we're seeing that he's having a little bit of trouble keeping his knees out on the box. You'll see that his knees start to dip in a little bit as he sits down, and then it's harder for him to drive those knees out as he begins to stand up again. One thing you'll notice when I'm doing my top set here at 315 is that as I sit back on the box, I'm continuing to open up that taint and drive my knees out, but I'm also holding my knees out on the bottom, or at least while I'm sitting on the box. I'm keeping that tension, I'm keeping that pressure, I'm not letting everything go and getting soft at the bottom. I'm keeping that external rotation, or driving those knees out, opening up the taint. You'll see here, drive the knees out, knees stay out as I sit on the box, and then I drive the knees out even harder as I begin to stand. This felt pretty good for me. This was a PR, something that I PR'd. I mean, it's been probably a year, maybe even 2 years since I've done this particular exercise, and I wanted to play it a little conservative, didn't want to get too crazy and gangster out with a belt and knee sleeves and all that stuff. Just wanted to raw dog it, no belt, no wrist straps, just kind of see where I'm at, because that number, hitting 315 for a PR, is going to be something that I can build off of throughout the rest of the training cycle. Jake Stone here again with his back down sets, 195 for 4 sets of 6 reps. You'll see we took the box away, so it's a little bit different. We do get a little bit more quad activation on the free squat as opposed to the box squat. We got Aiden Chang back here. Took his hoodie off because you know things are about to get real. He's doing a free squat, and one thing we focused on with Aiden was to push his butt back a little bit more so that he can engage his hamstrings. We're doing a free squat, so he's still going to engage his quads quite a bit, and his form on these first 3 reps look incredible. You'll see on this last rep, his big toe comes up off the ground. He starts to stumble a little bit, but that's okay. It's important to remember that when you're squatting, whether it's a box squat, a front squat, a typical back squat, it's important to remember that you want your big toe, your pinky toe, and your heel all to be glued to the floor and almost like gripping the floor. You want that full foot contact on the ground. It's going to help create a lot of stability in your ankles, your knees, and your hips. And from that point, that's when you want to be able to push your butt back to load up those hamstrings. If you're a power lifter, you can work to keep that vertical shin angle. If you're an athlete or you're an Olympic weightlifter, you can, hit that knees over toe squat and really drive those knees forward. That's just something you want to think about while you're squatting. We got Jake Stone hitting up our dynamic effort work, which is 5x5. Bench press versus some chains, 95 pounds on the bar. We just kept 95 on the bar, and then depending on your strength level, we would add a chain or take a chain away for your accommodating resistance. Chains are awesome. They're a great way to overload the strength curve. When you think about any exercise, it's harder at the bottom and a little bit easier at the top. Adding some accommodating resistance kind of makes it harder all the way throughout the range of motion. We supersetted this exercise with medicine ball partner partner chest passes. It's important that when you're doing this, as soon as you catch that ball, you're immediately trying to launch it back at your partner. You want to launch it so hard that you're going to almost knock them back off their knees when they catch it.
All right, I'm getting my second coffee for the day set up here. Just got back from the gym, had an awesome training session with the AM crew. We had 6 guys. It was me, Jake Stone, my man Joe Bond, Colin, Josh, Aiden, and Eric. So we had a pretty deep crew this morning. We did our box squats with the Duffalo bar. I worked up to 315 for a set of 5. It was raw dogged, so beltless, no wrist wraps, no knee sleeves, no belt, nothing like that. And it felt pretty good. I'm pretty sure that's a PR. I mean, last time I did this was, probably 2 years ago, maybe 1 year ago. So it was a PR, felt good. It definitely had more in the tank, but didn't want to push it. When you're immediately jumping back into a new training cycle right after a competition or coming off of an injury, I know you're excited. I know you're fired up to lift everything and stack the house on the bar and things like that. But work to something that's difficult, but not, leave some in the tank. You don't want to fry yourself the first day. You want to be able to come back and keep attacking the weights, come back and keep training hard on the mat and moving forward in a positive way. You don't want to overtrain. I mean, even the word overtraining, I think is severely misunderstood. But you don't want to push yourself so hard that you don't have anything left in the tank for jiu-jitsu later on in the day, or anything left in the tank to push from a weight training perspective later on in the week. So that's all I got to say about that. But we did our box squats. Then we did some drop down sets, 4 sets, 6 reps, no box. So I did a set at 225. Did it the rest of my sets at 185. I haven't squatted with a bar on my back, not to a box, in quite some time, like maybe a couple months. So the movement actually felt a lot worse than the box squat did. So I went a lot lighter than everybody else, just to make sure my movement was feeling good, and just making sure that my form was on point and that I had a good control of the weight, making sure everything is feeling good. And I've said that how many times? I've probably said it 10 times already, that the goal is to feel good. If you're not really, even if you are a power lifter, but regardless of what your sport is, when you leave the gym, you should feel better than when you walked in. And I believe that every set should feel pretty good. Your muscles are going to burn, yes. Things are going to ache, yes. You may be sore, yes. But that being said, you shouldn't feel terrible in any movement. I feel like you should always be looking for a way to change the mechanical advantage of your body, change the weight, change the reps, change things a little bit, just so that you can feel good. And 4 sets of 6, now 185 with the Duffalo bar, maybe it was 195, because the Duffalo bar weighs 55 pounds. I don't know. Regardless, it felt good, and that was a win for me today. After that, we moved into a superset of 5x5 speed bench versus some chains, along with medicine ball partner passes. So basically, you're just on your knees and you're throwing that medicine ball as hard as you can at your partner. You want to be explosive. This is speed work. This is part of our dynamic effort upper body training, these medicine ball passes. And it's important that you throw that medicine ball with so much force that you're trying to knock your partner back when they catch that ball. That's all we did. After that, we finished up with a little bit of mobility, and we called it a day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this training vlog. If you want to see more training vlogs in this style, just comment below this video. Make sure you like, subscribe, share the video with a friend. Support the channel if you're looking for a free 4-week grappling strength program. I have something for you guys that I cooked up. All you got to do is just click the link below, and I'll catch you guys later. Peace.